What is up, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the 4 reasons why you should forget your student loan forgiveness program. As a bonus, the end of the video is going to include information on the student loan forgiveness tax bomb that negatively affects students every year. The first reason is that these are government-sponsored programs that can vanish at any time. You could be 5, 6, 7 years into a 10-year program, and they could completely cancel the program right out from under you. Let's really stop and think about this for a second. Let's say that there's a forgiveness program that requires you to live in a rural area. The program is 10 or 20 years long. Over that time span, the rural area actually grows. A lot of people move there and it becomes a lot more suburban. The government could cancel this program because it's not qualified as a rural area any longer, and thus you've been working toward a forgiveness program that no longer exists. It's important to remember that these loan forgiveness programs are not contracts. This is not a contract that you enter into with the government. They do not have to forgive your loans, and they can cancel these programs at any time, making them very, very risky. The second reason is that these loan forgiveness programs are over super long periods of time. Some can be 5 to 10 years, but others are 20 to 25 years long. Think about how much life can happen just in 10 years. Think about where you were 10 years ago. What has gone according to plan since then? Probably not a lot. Now think about 20, 25 years. There is so much life that can happen in between those years that can make you ineligible for these loan forgiveness programs. For example, you are not free to leave this job for any reason and still receive the loan forgiveness. Let's say you get fired. You no longer qualify. Let's say you had to leave for health or medical reasons. You no longer qualify. Let's say your spouse was offered an amazing opportunity miles away. You now have to choose between your loan forgiveness and your spouse receiving an amazing opportunity. We don't want to be put in this position, and we don't want to put our life on hold for this loan forgiveness program. And this is very worst case scenario, but what if a coworker or a boss comes onto you at the workplace? You want to be free to leave. And these are very, very serious decisions. But again, you want the freedom to be able to choose. You don't want the student loan forgiveness to be there holding you there, and then you don't even qualify or you don't get it at the end of the program. And here's something else to think about as well. Why is the government incentivizing people to work there? There's got to be a reason that people don't want to work there on their own, right? Is it a poor area? Is the pay near or below the poverty line? Is the area full of violence? Why is it that people have to be incentivized to work there? Is that really a place that you want to be for the next 10, 15, 20 years without the freedom to leave and not have to depend on the loan forgiveness? And this brings me to my third reason why you should forget your student loan forgiveness program, and that is you're putting your future into the hands of someone who does not care about you. And that's really hard to hear as a college grad. You're starting out on your own for really the first time, and you want people to want you to succeed. But that's just not the case here. And if you don't believe me, take a look at the stats. Over 99% of applicants get denied when applying for student loan forgiveness. Private student loans may not be eligible for forgiveness at all. And if you do get forgiven, a lot of times you have to pay income taxes on the amount that was forgiven. Did these stats just scream, we love college grads and we want to see them succeed? I don't think so. And the fourth reason why you should forget your student loan forgiveness program is that your student loan doesn't just disappear. Someone else always has to pay back the money. And this is true of any loan. There's no loan that gets forgiven that just disappears. Someone has to get paid. And that's usually tax-paying dollars that have to pay back these loans that have been forgiven. I'm a firm believer that if you take out the debt, it is your responsibility to pay it back. It's irresponsible to expect someone else to pay back a debt that you borrowed. And this is true of bankruptcy as well. Sometimes the lender will eat some of the abandoned debt, but most of the time it's tax-paying dollars that end up having to pay back these loans that have been forgiven. And this brings me to the student loan forgiveness tax bomb that occurs when you actually do get your student loans forgiven. This is huge. So if you're one of the lucky less than 1% that apply and actually get their loans forgiven, At tax time, you'll get slapped with a Form 1099-C, and you'll actually have to pay income taxes on the amount that was forgiven as if it was income, as if it was cash given to you. This is so underrated. Not a lot of people know about this, and they go from having student debt to having debt to the IRS because they can owe $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, depending on how much was forgiven. Guys, I really hope you're hearing me on this. There are no shortcuts when it comes to student loans. If you just decide, I'm not going to pay these anymore, your loans will go into default, and they legally have the ability to garnish your wages and garnish your tax return. They will literally go to your employer and start taking money out of your paychecks before it's deposited into your account. There are zero shortcuts when it comes to student loans, which is why in my next video, I'm gonna go over step by step on how to pay your student loans off fast. And this works, guys. There's several strategies in there that I'm sure you haven't heard of before, and I can't wait for you guys to really see the timeline and how you can pay these off way, way faster by following my process.